Lawnmower racing gets way more fun when the ground is wet. Look how sideways we all were. So this lawnmower race, the track had just been watered, so it was ultra slippery, and it didn't all go to plan. Now, lawnmower racing, here we are on my Group 3, and I actually haven't driven this thing a whole lot in the wet. You can see just how wet and muddy it is. And with zero traction, these things are super hard to drive. So here we are on the grid, that you can see how wet and slippery the track is here. So the lights go on, and then the lights go off, and we get away. Now this is... You can see here, there we are, away from the line, just how much wheel spin we're getting. I actually got a relatively okay launch. So we come here through this little kink, it tightens up on the left here. It's easier to dig in and roll here, a little right. And then this left here was really, really tricky. Look how wet it is, and it leads onto a straight. I come out here, get zero grip, my wheels are just spinning. You can hear the revs climbing up through there, and you can see Kenny flies past me, gets a much better exit, and flies down the straight. You can see a couple of different lights. Alfie hits the bales. Kenny's flicking it in. Look, sliding his lawnmower through this final corner. I then follow him, sliding out of control and losing a whole load of speed. It's all about carrying momentum through these slippery bits to get out of the corner. And you can see the guys that have done this before that really know what they're doing in tricky conditions on these lawnmowers, particularly the Group 3s. So 43 Dean in front of me. These things are really short, really narrow, so you don't want to get them tipping up on two wheels because they will bite you, which mine did earlier on that day. Check this out. So here we are practicing before the race, and you can see just how tricky the conditions are. So here, I actually dig in and begin to roll. So in those places where there's grass, there's loads of grip. I then rejoin the track and get into this mud, slide it. I'm thinking, this is okay, and then suddenly, oh, it's not okay. And you rolled it over, so you get sideways, and then the rear wheel digs in and just chucks you off, and you can see I have to roll my lawnmower back over and push it off the track. It hurt a bit, it landed on my foot, but other than that, everything's okay. I have rolled one of these things before, and it can be quite common.
I got way too sideways.
So here we are back into the race. So down the straight, you pick up some speed, and then you've got to get rid of it before this really slippery, muddy section down the bottom here. And getting the mower slowed down here and turned, look at that. Look how tricky it is to get it out of here. And then get the traction down to get moving. It was so difficult. Halfway down the straight, as you hit these mud patches, you're getting massive oversteer moments. The revs fly up. And you can see here, Stu, look, things are really difficult. And he actually begins to dig in. Look at this. He tries an outside line, and oh, it just kicks him up. And he manages to hold on to the mower. But these are really, really, really tricky situations. You're either taking this really sloppy mud and just sliding and going nowhere, or you try and go around the outside, but the grip is unpredictable and it wants to chuck you off. You can see here I'm trying different lines, trying to deal with the lack of grip. Around these tighter corners, you can see as Pete gets a little bit stuck there, I'm trying to get my weight over the front wheels to get it to turn, and then as you're coming out of the corner, you're trying to get your weight back over the rear wheels so you actually have some traction and don't just wheel spin forever, because that was a fairly common occurrence here. So as we come through this race, most of the Group 4s have got ahead, but I'm battling with some Group 3s, a couple behind me. You can see Pete nearly get sideways. I thought he was going to roll it like I did earlier on that day. He managed to avoid it. But actually, it was really good to follow people who knew what they were doing in these situations. Like Pete, he's got a lot of experience, because I really haven't. I was having to try lines, drive around, trying to find the grip. A bit like you do in circuit racing. When it's wet, you try alternative lines. You swing it around the outside on sort of a karting line to try and find some grip off the rubber. This is a bit different, and you've got patches of mud. And so you've kind of got to look at it and go, how much grip are you going to give me? So around here, I knew this section was really grippy. You're basically running a dry line around here, as you would normally. And then coming out of here, I thought, why don't I try and swing it around the outside? Hopefully this mud on the outside wasn't as worn, or the grass would still be a little bit there. And I managed to pull a little bit more momentum out of that corner, get it going before then. I'm then trying here, what if I stay right inside? What if I stay in the middle? So you can see here, there's a bit of dry mud down the middle line there that I tried, and I managed to find, I feel like, you've got to do this based on gut, but I feel like I had a little bit better run through there. But then through here, I get in one bad patch, and I'm stuck. I actually take a little bit of a off-track moment to get going there. And so you've got to try loads of different things. This is a real challenge, and this was by far my most fun race this weekend because you're sliding all over the place, getting covered in mud, trying different things, learning at the same time, also racing other classes, which is always fun. And this is what lawnmower racing is all about. Check it out, blmra.co.uk if you want to join. And as we come into the final straight on the final lap, you can see here Kenny, who we saw earlier, number 66, flies past, and he's actually battling for the lead here. So he takes the outside line, bounces off all the hay bales, goes a little bit deep there, manages to hold on to it, and then look to our inside and get a dive bomb from number 23. A little bit of contact doesn't come through. This is for the checkered flag, and Kenny manages to just get a bit more traction and drive out the corner.
Come on, that was a laugh.
Now please do make sure to subscribe and comment down below if you like these races. Look at this race. This is a preview for the next video that's coming up on the channel. So make sure to hit subscribe. This was a really great race. I hope you're enjoying these lawnmower racing videos. Give me any feedback down below and I'll catch you in the next one.